Hey, you already know what it is, man. D.J.S. I'm in the lab, chilling. Just made a couple beats and chilling out, tranquil. Decided I'm gonna do this blog over. I already did it, but I didn't upload it. I'm gonna do it now. Best of 2023. Some of the positive things that I like in battle rap this year. Ain't gonna talk about the negative. We're gonna talk about the positive things that I like this year. All right. Salute to everybody out there. Happy New Year. Blessed to everybody. Hope the kids, the family, everybody's good. Hope y'all good. If not, hope it's better this year than it was last year. You already know what it is, man. But let's get into it real fast, all right? Quick tranquil blog, all right? Some of the best or top or favorite moments for myself in 2023, all right? Let me start with this, because this is top of the year. Shout out to Remy Ma, Chrome 23. Anniversary card, shout out to that. The anniversary card was epically crazy as far as the footage, some of the moments and shit like that. Gotta give it up. But more than anything for me, shout out to Avo. Shout out to Avo. That footage is so clean, so pristine in that intro, the way it's chopped, slowed down, edited, beautiful, shot beautiful. Shout out to Avo. Start with that, 'cause that's top of the year. All right? Let's get into this real fast, because I see this floating around. Let's talk about the top league of the year. And still shout out some of the other leagues as well. Shout out to OSBL, they was working. Shout out to iBattle, they was working. Shout out to We Go Hard, they always working. Fuck with We Go Hard, heavy. I was just watching, who was I watching? Stacks and Presidential Dubs. I'm gonna get back to that one. But shout out to all the leagues who was working this year. Shout out to Trenches. Shout out to Easy. Shout out to everybody who's doing their league. Riot. Everyone who's doing their thing. Shout out to everybody, all right? This year, gotta give it up to RBE. URL had an okay year. People are trying to step on them a little bit. I don't agree. I think they were all right this year. They weren't that bad. But I understand where it's coming from. Now, RBE, Blue Room, Max Out, Divide and Conquer, all fire. Gotta give it up. Consistently throughout the year, they was cooking. Great battles. The setting, the whole Blue Room, having your own shot or whatever, or your own scenery to yourself. Gotta give it up. Shout out to RBE, they were cooking this year. But shout out to URL. URL did not have a bad year to me. It just wasn't that good of a year. That's how I view it. Shout out to URL though. Shout out to King of the Dot too. Shout out to the home league. Rest in peace to Pat Stay, obviously. They only had one event this year, but you already know where that goes already, alright? Shout out to King of the Dot. But RBE definitely cooked this year. Gotta give it up to RBE. RBE, in my opinion, League of the Year. Clearly, in my personal opinion. Alright? That's just my opinion though. Now let's get into this. Real fast. Can't include myself in it because I don't look at myself in the same way. But shout out to the media. Shout out to the bloggers, the people who I watch. Shout out to DME. Shout out to New Era Podcast. Shout out to BCM, of course, Black Compass Media, all that. Shout out to the forefathers. Shout out to J Black, Chris, Caps. Shout out to them. I think Caps might have been cooking the whole year, though. I can't even front. Shout out to Caps. If I have to get into anybody, I have to give it to Caps. Probably be Caps. When it comes to good, edited blogs and shit like that, though, you gotta give it to Chris. So it's either for me. Because Chris started out the year smoking shit. Shout out to Chris. J Black, the forefather, the GOAT. Shout out to him, too. Champion, always consistent. But shout out to the new joints. Shout out to the new niggas. The new platforms. They had a very good year this year. Shout out to them. Battle Facts. Fuck with Battle Facts. Battle Facts can actually battle too. He fired. He's actually pretty good. I ain't gonna front. He's kind of dope. He speaks well and everything. Shout out to Battle Facts. Shout out to Harlem Legend. Shout out to Qua. For me personally, the top new joint for me, the top new platform for me I gotta give it up to Rosenberg Raw. I gotta give it up. He speaks well, articulates himself well, and speaks well about the culture. On the culture, I should say. Entertaining too. He's a funny guy. Shout out to Rosenberg Raw. Bros and Froze, all that's dope. When they had the jazz in the crib and all that type of shit, wherever it was, I'm not saying it was in the crib, wherever they were, that was dope too. So shout out to them. Alright? Shout out to Froze. Top new media, in my personal opinion, of 2023. That's just my opinion. Who else we got to talk about? My fault. Most improved. Shout out to Dot. Shout out to Jade. I narrowed it down to them, me personally. If I forgot anybody, leave it in the comments. But these are the two I narrowed it down to. Right? I gave it to Jade. I think Jade's the most improved this year. I see her confidence coming out. Dressing up a certain way and all that kind of shit. A little bit more energy. A little bit more performance. The bars has always been there. I fuck with Jade. Jade dope as shit. Shout out to Jade. As a matter of fact, I got my laptop right here. I was just watching Jade versus Eon. Just got past the first round. Shout out to Jade. Jade's up one right now. I'll put it like that. Jade's up one. Shout out to Jade. But shout out to Dot too. Because Dot started out the year fire. Going into the trenches card and all that shit. Going into Chufo's league. My fault. But he was doing real good. Then we just didn't really hear from him a little bit. Not saying he wasn't cooking. Just didn't hear from him as much as we seen Jade. We'll get back to that in a minute. Shout out to Jade. What else we got to talk about? Let's talk about moments. Top moment. Real fast. Get to this real quick. This one is kind of, to me, I feel it's kind of obvious. It came down to, Glock 40 on your bitch ass. Shout out to A Ward. Geechee's third toward Remy and Easy. Definitely Geechee's round. But I think that Glock 40 is right beside it. It's kind of close to me. Because that was such a shock in that moment. I didn't expect him to say that. I ain't gonna hold you. I didn't expect him to say that shit at all. And out the gate too, fire. Shout out to A Ward. Those are my two top moments of the year. For me personally. This is all just my opinion, people. What else we got? My favorite rounds, the top rounds, are best rounds to me personally. I couldn't make it a round. I had to go rounds just because of how I called it. Because even though I like Hitman's second against Ill Will, that round is fire to me. Jerry's second round for DNA was dope. Big K's first for Mook, or second for Mook, I should say. And his first for Ward. Dope. Those rounds are fire. Twerk's first for Mook, fire. But for me personally, I think the most potent rounds, even though there were some smaller leagues with some other dudes who were fire too, and I put them in there too. Cause shout out to Hansel, Eunice, and those battles, those niggas was wildin'. They was wildin'. As I just said, I was just watching Presidential Dub and Stacks. There's some other little battles, smaller leagues, I should say, not little battles, but smaller leagues with some dope battles with some fire material. Fire fucking material. But when it comes to these two, I feel like this is like a hands down to me. When it came to layered, creative, potent material, having from the impressions and shit like that, doing things in reverse and all that type of shit. The rounds of the year for me personally, New Jersey Twerk and Rum Nitty. That 2-on-2, the shit that they were saying was next level. And it was so crazy that I felt like y'all felt that same way so highly that you wanted it moved to a whole other place. It wasn't good. The material was so fire that people didn't react enough to y'all. It should have went to Houston instead. That says volumes to me. That tells me, and even when you're at home, the psyche is, y'all should be going crazy for shit. That's why I judge big room battles the way I do. That's your job. Shake that shit. That's what they still kind of did in that battle. They still were kind of shaking shit in that building. Maybe in Houston it might have been a little bit more, but they were still shaking shit in my opinion. That material was so fucking fire. 3 rounds of madness to me. You can go back and keep watching that shit. That shit's gonna age like wine. That shit fire. Shit in reverse, joint forces. All that shit that they were doing was so fucking crazy. Rounds of the year in my opinion. Now, let's get to this real fast. Shout out to Twerk and shout out to Rum Nitty. Side note, gun titles. That's the only thing I see stopping them two niggas. Them niggas leave the planet. I don't see no other team beating them. It has to be Surf and Rock. If it ain't Surf and Rock, I don't know who it could be. But anyway, let's get to this. Right? It's kind of like the last of it here. Top female battle. I'm going to wait until certain battles come out. I felt like there were so many pay-per-views. A lot of us didn't get a chance to grab all of them. It was so many. The Casey and Shuni, I'm going to wait till that drops. I want to wait till all those Queen of the Ring battle drops. And then I'm going to talk about the battle of 2023. Whenever it comes out. Doesn't matter. Battler of the year. Female battler of the year for me personally. Now let me say this. Let me shout out to some people, some other females who was cooking this year. Right? Because it wasn't just the top 3 who we already know they are. The top 3, as we all know, are Jazz, Coffee, and Hustle. We all know that. That's the top 3, right? But shout out to E Heart. I thought she did pretty good this year. Got a shout out to E Heart, the mama, the mother. She had the Cash Flow Rizzy battle. She cooked in. Don Lady, I thought she beat Don Lady. QB. I'm gonna wait for that to drop, even though I already know what happened, but still. I'm gonna wait. Shout out to Casey. Casey had a dope year too. Shuni, Hustle. I'm gonna wait for that to drop on that Netflix shit. Let's see what that's about. I'm very interested in that. Very interested in that. Cook, Mozzie, DNA. Casey had a very strong year as well. Shout out to Casey. 40. Shout out to 40. John, Coffee. Both did well. The Coffee ain't come out yet, but we'll see. John should do well. John should do well. Sheed. I thought her and Sheed was cooking. They're both kind of cooking to me. Didn't see the Logi or LAG. Coffee ain't dropped yet. Shout out to 40. Shout out to 40. QB. RX. Robin Rams. Clips. E Heart and Caution. Shout out to QB. QB did good this year too. Very good this year. Had her edge in RX. She beat Robin Rams. She beat Clips on the Roof. She beat Caution. E Heart's a whole other animal though. Jade. Shout out to Jade. Again, told you we're gonna get back to Jade. Jade was cooking this year. Jade was cooking this year. Shout out to Caution, all them. Jade was cooking this year though. She had a lot of people on her resume too. A few strong names on her resume, I should say. Twerk, Vix, Holmesy. Damn. She had a few names in there. Dawn Lady. Then she had a 2-on-2 with Dawn Lady. Jada Ray. Good year, man. I'm watching the Eon right now. That battle is fire so far. They cooking. Shout out to Jade. Dope year. But the top 3, as we all know. 40, Casey, and Jazz. Or Coffee, my fault. Not 40, sorry. Coffee, my fault. Coffee had a strong year. She did have a strong year. Twerk, Bad Life Bird, not sure who he is. Snake Eyes, she cooked Snake Eyes. Grid, cooked Grid. Geechee wasn't the best battle, but she seemed to have won. She beat Shuni as well. Gemini, Couture battle didn't happen. That would have been fire. Coffee and Couture would have been fire. 40 bars. She had a good resume. Very good year this year. Shout out to Coffee. Coffee was cooking. As I said, she writes up and she's fire. Hustle though. Rock, Capo, Shuni, Arsenal, Casey in that one rounder for Netflix, which is big. Eunice, Jerry West, Lou Castro in the 2-on-2. See, the thing is, she got big stage ones and she cooked. She cooked. Her and Rock is debatable. I got Rock winning, but I can surely say that it's debatable. I can't just say that Rock just clearly won. Hustle was cooking. But it's debatable. She beat Arsenal, beat Shuni, Capo, Unit. She's been cooking all year as well. I'm going to go Coffee 3 with no slight, no disrespect. Hustle 2, I got to go Jazz 1. Clips, Twerk, Rum, Big K, RX, Low. She was cooking all year. And she pretty much won all her battles outside of Rum. And people have her winning against Rum. I don't. So I got a 5-1. But I admit that battle is debatable. It is debatable. So it could be 5-0-1. Either. I got Jazz as my Woman of the Year. Female Battler of the Year. Shout out to Hustle. And shout out to Coffee too. None of them had a bad year though. I feel like that race is still kind of close. Like if someone picked it another way, I wouldn't be mad at that. I ain't gonna front. Somebody's gonna have Coffee. I got Jazz though. Male Battle of the Year. Again, I'm gonna wait for certain things to come out, whatever the case may be. Certain things I wanna do my due diligence on. Wait for that one a little bit. But male battler. Or just Battler of the Year, I should say. Battler of the Year. Shout out to EK. I initially had this number, but I said, you know what? Nah. But shout out to EK. Shout out to Hustle. Shout out to Jazz. Shout out to Chef Trez. Shout out to Rum. And shout out to Geechee. All of them had a dope year. Rum had so Flair, Ilmac, Rock, and Geechee, Jazz. But then he had, like, no disrespect, Dre Dennis, Ace Amin, Young Grizz, CJA, Appa, Foots, Kid Slade, Geechee, the easy battle, clearly. Twerk and Rum in the 2-on-2, as I said. Coffee battle wasn't all that good. I recapped the news battle. That battle was fire. Jay the Nightwing, Houlihan, Bad News. He cooked Serious Jones like I thought he would. Good Illuminati. Dope year. But here's the thing. This is just for me. Twerk, Jazz, Easy, Big K, and Rock. I think that's how I call my top 5. That's my top 5. That's my top 5. Shout out to Jazz. This is supposed to be a male. Should I have to throw Jazz in there? I couldn't even front. She was in there against nothing but top tier niggas for the most part. And just throw RX in there, who's dope too. But how I'm calling it is this. I think I'm gonna go. I got Twerk at number 5, Jazz number 4. Not even. I got Easy at number 5, Twerk number 4, Jazz number 3, and the top 2 comes down to Big K and Tay-Rock. In my personal opinion, this is just for me. Easy started off good, then the last half lost to Geechee, and mad people got him losing to John, even though I don't. But I admit that it's a debatable battle, but mad people got him losing to John. I thought he could have been a little bit cleaner though, but he was still dope. I still thought he won. The material was super fire. Thing about Rock is he don't choke, he don't slip up, he don't do none of that. And I thought Easy choked against Diz in the second round personally. That's me personally. I thought he cut his round short, like he kind of yoked up. Big K cooked all year against all his opponents. Except, not say he didn't, but I thought he would have did better against Young L. But he was still fire overall, and he won. Sharon, debatable. Mad people got Sharon winning though. But he beat Mook and Rex this year. That's huge. And I feel like those are kind of clear too. And A-Ward. And A-Ward. I thought he would have lost to A-Ward, to be honest with you. And he beat that nigga ass. I ain't gonna front. Shout out to Big K. I got Big K second place. I got Rock, to me personally, as my battle of the year. This is why. Hustle, beat. Cuban, beat. Jack, beat. Jay, Soldier, beat. Av, debatable. Hustle, debatable too, but I got him winning. Av, debatable. 2-1 either way. Real Deal's a legend. He beat Real Deal. Stumbles, he beat Stumbles. Gunpowder Patty, he beat them. 2-on-2 to end the year with Mac and Clean. Mac and Clean are already dangerous. And he already had the 2-on-2. So we got Rum and Geechee on there too. Torque and Rum on there too. I got Rock. Rock ain't lose none of these battles. Maybe outside of the 2-on-2, which is more, as they say, an all-star game, but it kind of counts to me. But everything else he won. And he was cooking consistently. Consistently. Some of the shit that he was saying this year, he might have one of my favorite bars of the year. That Neapolitan bar was fucking crazy. That shit was crazy. What he said? Blade go through brown, pink, and like Neapolitan. That was crazy. I got Rock. Me personally. But that's how I'm calling it, man. Okay year. Okay year. Wasn't as bad as people were trying to make it out. A lot of people were stepping on URL a certain way. Don't really agree with that. Feel like they're all alright. They closed out the year pretty good. So okay year. I'm not mad at them. Shout out to URL. They were good. Alright. RBE definitely has the event of the year though. Event of the year definitely goes to Max Out. And that's crazy. Because it almost feels like this year was the year of the small room. Or the smaller attendance. 100 people, 200 people. Maybe 300 max. This year felt like, or 2023, my fault, felt like the year of the smaller, compact size type of rooms. As opposed to the big giant 1,000 plus, 800 plus, 900 plus, 2,000, 3,000, whatever. Even though we do need both. We do need both. But I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that. Next year, maybe the big stage, or this year, 2024, maybe the big stage will have some real good events. But this year was the year, 2023, definitely belonged to the small room. Give it up to RBE, the Blue Room, that whole series definitely was it for the year. Max Out definitely was the best event of the year. And I'm not mad if someone said one of the Divide and Conquers was second best. I'm not mad at that. Could be outside, but definitely Divide and Conquer were dope. And so was Max Out. So shout out to RBE also having the event of the year. Shout out to them, man. But that's all I'm calling 2023, man. Hit the like, subscribe, let me know what y'all think, alright? Just a quick tranquil block. I'm in the lab, I'm just tranquil, just chilling. Made them 2 quick beats. So let me just do this blog real fast. Get this out the way real quick, alright? So shout out to everybody, man. Have a blessed 2024. And hope y'all had a good 2023 and a better one this year. Alright? Stay blessed. You already know this, man. Subscribe, like, comment, share, let me know what y'all think, alright? 1.